alone has put on about 3.5%. Quarter to date, it's an uptick of a solid 10%. And year to date, copper prices have risen over 28%. Let me welcome on board Rajesh Jain, CFO at RR Kabel, to talk about how it's impacting their business. Rajesh, hi, morning. Good to have you on the show. Rajesh, given that copper constitutes about almost 55 to 60% of your raw materials, tell me how this uptick in copper prices is impacting you.
Good morning. Yes, we have seen a sharp increase in copper prices in the last 1 or 2 months. And since, as rightly said by you, this is our major raw material. But at the same time, we have a pass-through mechanism. So whenever whatever increase or decrease in our raw material prices, we change our sales price accordingly. And that way we handle this copper volatility.
Rajesh, what is the kind of demand that you're seeing for the products in the domestic market? Are you seeing enough demand coming in from the real estate?
Yeah, there is enough demand, I can say, because if you see after festive season, there is always a construction activity picked up after this monsoon also, and we have seen a fairly good demand in market.
Hi Rajesh, this is Harsh here. So talk to us. This 10% move in copper prices, what is the impact of that on your margins? Your margins have gotten better in H1. You've guided for even better margins in H2. Sustainable?
Yes, of course. As I'm telling now, okay, we have to pass on these prices. No company can be either upward move also or downward move also. And in same way as last month we have seen, there were already we have come up with 2 new price listed, and again today also new price list is coming in the market. So that way we have to pass on this margin, this copper price rises, and will sustain our margins.
I fully understand that you will pass this on. Is there a timing difference is what I'm trying to understand, and therefore will that impact your margin or not?
So we have some time lag in passing on the prices. As you can assume that if there is any huge changes.
But what is that time lag? How many days, months?
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
There is we always see at the average of last 15-20 days, and we change the our prices. So there is always a lag of around 20 days.
And so far, that's not impacted your volumes at all? It's been an easy pass through?
Yes, we are doing good.
Right. The other thing I also wanted to talk about was given that you were flagging off in terms of demand and you do see demand being upbeat, tell me, are you sticking by with your full year guidance number then? Because you were set out about almost 18% when it came to your wire and cable segment.
Yes, in first half we have seen good growth, and in second half it is always good half of the year, and we see good uptake in demand also. And since we are export also, we have a very fair amount of export. Almost 30% of our revenue comes from export, and we have seen good uptick in demand, and we are quite hopeful to achieve our numbers.
Are you going to see some kind of impact on the volume growth, given the fact that you have higher copper and raw material prices, which is there, and since there is a lag also, which you stated in terms of passing on the cost, are you able to pass on the entire cost to the customers?
Yes, it will be passed on. Just as I told, there will be some lag impact, but we have seen all things will be passed on. And on volume front also we are doing well. And since now we have high expectation in growth in our cable sector also, and we are working on that.
Rajesh, you've guided for margins to hit double digit. One of those levers will be FMEG, and I will come to the longer term picture, but FMEG will be one of those levers that you will have. How is the break even playing out over there, and what are the other levers that will get you to 10 to 11%?
So in FMEG, by Q4 of FY26, we are expecting to achieve break even. And when we are talking about double-digit margins, of course, in our project Rise, we have planned to achieve these figures by FY28, which is 100 bips improvement in margins year on year for next 3 years. And we are in line with that. And even in FMEG also, we are doing good, and we are trying to beat the industry growth and achieve break even in this quarter Q4 of FY26.
And how are you standing out versus competition? within that FMEG pack? Because of course there's a large amount of competition there.
Of course, FMEG is quite competitive sector,
Yeah.
but at the same time, still we are very small, and I will not say that, by terms of growth, we are doing much better than industry growth, but still, like our base is very small, and we are doing as per our growth plan only.
What is the kind of capex that you have planned out for this year and the next year?
So we have capex plan of around 1,200 crore spread over from FY26 to 28. That is 3 years, and in which majority of the this capex will be focused on cable expansion capacity, and we are on track with our plan.
And is there a reason why your working capital days have also increased to 57 odd days?
Oh, so it was just like due to increase in inventory, there is some uptick, but still like by next quarter, it will be again to the normalized level.
Okay, and if I were to ask you, once you've put up this 1,200 crore of capex, what kind of a top line would we arrive at? I understand that copper will obviously play a part in that number, but broadly, what will be the volume and what will be the top line like in terms of if you hit pretty much 100% capacity? So how much of top line does it take care of in terms of your capacity?
So at current copper levels, the top line growth or asset turn can work out around 3.75 times. That means around 4,500 crore of revenue we can generate with this capex plan of 1,200 crores.
And how are you looking at your exports market? You export most of it to Europe and Middle East. Is there a way? Are you trying to diversify these markets as well?
So these are already very good markets, and we are expecting a good growth in this market. Apart from US, which is like right now, though it is on a little bit on, but we are quite optimistic that that market will again pick up and we'll have a good opportunity there also. Yeah, of course, Europe and Middle East is very good market, and we are expecting good volume growth from those markets as well.
Give us a sense of what kind of demand that you are seeing from the renewable space. I understand, retail and other space, there's a good demand, but is there a big demand coming in from renewable sector as well for you?
Yes, so there is huge investment is coming in wind and solar power, and lot many projects are coming where we are also focusing to supply our wires and cables in those projects, and this will become one of the big growth factor for our growth also.
Rajesh, tell me, this 1,200 crore capex pretty much internally funded from internal accruals. I'm sure that the cash flow is there to support it, but just trying to get a sense if you will take on any debt at all.
So majority of this will be funded through internal accruals also. There may be some term loan required of around 200 crores. But otherwise, we are like quite, our cash flow is very strong, and even our debt ratio is pretty favorite.
And lastly, Rajesh, so therefore, the way one looks at the business, should we look at it from a perspective that there is absolutely or there is very low correlation or impact of copper prices on the business as a whole, and therefore investors should not be too perturbed by movements in copper?
And due to price volatility, but at the same time, if you see a business as in a longer horizon, then there will be no impact. See, one thing is sure that this wire and cable are consumed at in every sector, be it power sector or residential or commercial. So there will be always a good demand. There may be some variation in short term, but you have to see business in long term. And I expect that this industry is expected to do a very well in growth, which is maybe growth of around 13 to 14% over next 3-4 years on year basis.
Right. Okay, Rajesh, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Okay, thank you.